Hi, crafty friends. Look at this wallpaper from the Dollar Tree. Friends, I have seen everywhere this year a lot of pinks and oranges and different colors of pinks and whites for Halloween decor. Also like glitzy and just like rhinestones and glitter and everything. And I thought, let's recreate this fun stuff with Dollar Tree items. So first up, I got a frame from the Dollar Tree. It has a white frame, so I don't even need to paint it, which is perfect. And then I got that little boo sign. It's a little wood piece that I got also from Dollar Tree. So once we get this cut to the size that we need, we're gonna start painting the little sign. Now I had this paint on hand. It matches pretty darn good, but it's more of just a base for what we are going to do. So once I get it all painted and it dries up, then I also got some spray glue from Dollar Tree. And what we're going to do is we're going to spray over the top of this. And then I have two different glitters that we're going to add. One is a little bit more of a fine glitter, and then one is a little bit more chunky. So once I get all this sprayed, I'm going to use the chunky glitter and just kind of go over in some different areas. And then once I've done that, I'm going to grab the fine glitter and let that fill in all the other little spots because I want this to be completely covered. Now, the dry time on this, friends, was a little bit long. I am an impatient crafter. I don't know if any of you are, but totally impatient. But it finally got itself all dried up. And then all I did was just kind of shake it off any of the extra, because what we're going to do is we're going to add this to that frame. So all I did was I just took a little bit of hot glue, put it on some parts on the back, and then put that right onto the glass. And then it's that simple. I mean, other than the dry time. And we have a really cute little piece of Halloween decor in all of the fun colors. Check this out. Oh, I just love it. All right, so project number 2, I got a gold little pumpkin from the Dollar Tree, and then I got these adhesive, like kind of like faux rhinestone looking things. So I'm just gonna cut these apart. I'm just using a rotary cutter to do this. I know those are normally for fabric, but I do have one that I use just for crafting. So I just wanted to make those easier to work with. So what I'm gonna start doing with this pumpkin is where the indentions are, I'm going to start putting those in the indentions first. And the reason I'm doing that rather than just starting and working my way all around was I felt like it would be a little bit easier to fill in each individual section in between those kind of gap pieces. But this works perfectly because this background was already gold. And so with the little faux rhinestones over the top, I think this is just going to be adorable. So once I get all of those little parts filled in, as you can see there, then I kind of go and split the difference in between each section. I figured, just like I said, each smaller section is much easier rather than just doing the whole thing at one time. And it was a whole heck of a lot easier. There were even parts where I didn't even have enough space to go like one whole section. So I would just use, just the few amount that I needed just to kind of squeeze them in there. But the glitz of this, once I got everything going, I was like, oh my gosh, I am in love with that. The great thing about this is the adhesive part is kind of see-through. So the fact that this was already gold and then we're putting these faux gold rhinestones over the top is perfect. So definitely I would make sure whatever the base layer is matches, because they do have like the silvery kind of faux rhinestones there also. Just make sure that your background matches what color of the faux rhinestones you're doing. So I was just clipping off the excess and I was just setting them there on my board. That way, when I needed to fill in little spots, I could just pick those up and use those. And I was like, oh man, I bet I'm going to use a whole sheet. I didn't, you guys. I used maybe half of the sheet, maybe not even that, on this little pumpkin here that I got at the Dollar Tree. So again, it was a little time consuming, but gosh, guys, it turned out so good. I was like, it was worth the investment for me to do that. And then I was like, okay, so how do I kind of want to tie this in? I added a little bit of pink lace over the top of it. And I just think this is adorable. All right, so project number 3 is, this is one of the scrubbing mitts from the Dollar Tree that you can get in like the beauty section. But the color of this, I was like, stop it. It looks so good with the wallpaper. So I'm going to take some polyfill. Actually, this is a mixture of polyfill and old pillow stuffing because I always like to recycle those. I know polyfill can get a little expensive sometimes, so any old pillows that I have, I just pull all that inside out. And I'm going to stuff this really, really good. I want this to stand up on its own, so I did end up putting a lot of stuffing in there. So no, excuse me. So once all that is done, we are going to add a little bit of hot glue on each side and kind of squish that together. And then I have a fall pick that I kind of took apart. And I'm just going to put that right on the inside here, just kind of smush it down in. And then we're going to take some Spanish moss and we're going to hot glue that around just to kind of hide that topper part. You could push it down inside if you wanted, but I just thought hiding it with the Spanish moss would work out really well. But I am loving the color of this thing. And I love that we can make pumpkins out of pretty much anything. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and they don't have to be perfect. So when you see something that's the color, or maybe it's not even the color and you could paint it or something, grab it because they are great little fun pieces of decor as well. So once I kind of get everything hot glued in place, I think I will end up adding a little bit more Spanish moss to this, but look how adorable this is. I added even some little burlap leaves. All right, so on to our next project. This is a little plastic set of ghosts that I got from the Dollar Tree. It actually is a light up one, but I don't want it to light up, so I'm not going to add any batteries. But what I'm going to do, another color that I had on hand that I think kind of matches the wallpaper, is I'm going to just paint over the top of everything. Now, if I had this spray paint color, spray paint would have gone a whole lot faster because I ended up having to do 4 coats of this. And then it turned out to be like a super matte look, which at first I loved, but I think I'm going to go back and add like a top coat to it, maybe a little bit of a gloss. I think that might kind of make it a little bit better. But once you get all your paint on, it's completely dry. I'm going to fill back in the eyes and the mouth. And all I'm going to do with that is I'm going to use a Sharpie, just a black Sharpie marker. But really make sure, let me say this again, make sure your paint is dry, because if you try to use the black Sharpie on the paint and it's not dry, well, you guys know it won't work and it will turn into a mess. I was even thinking, see at the bottom there, there's that little hole. Well, it's not really a hole, but that's where I guess it's like a motion activated thing. I was even thinking, what could we add down there to cover that, since we're not going to be using it as a light? I actually could have put maybe like some wood fill in there to cover that up. I don't know, but even a cute little bow down there would be adorable. I didn't really worry about it because the way we're going to decorate this whole thing together, I don't even think anybody will really see it because I'm going to end up putting it on kind of a tiered thing. But look how adorable it is. I just think these were so much fun. So thanks for watching, friends. Follow for more.